Denver Mattress, the easiest way to get the right mattress.
A Chattanooga church is excited to open its doors this Saturday night, not for a church service, but for a comedy tour featuring the award-winning comedy of Nazareth Rizkallah, who has been featured on CBS, The 700 Club, and Comedy Central. Pastor Barry Lee is preparing for a sold-out crowd. Only it's free. We'll explain the sold-out part in a minute. But like any good preacher, he's going to try to make room for one more soul.
That's right.
To fill that church. So good to see you.
Good to see you too, Julie.
It is a free event that y'all are offering, but you are encouraging people to give if they feel
we
called.
will receive a free will offering, yeah. And we're just so excited. It's amazing that we could have Nazareth in Chattanooga at our church, because we're not a large church. And our building seats about 250, but we don't have that many members.
The church is Church of God of Prophecy.
It is the Oakwood Church of God of Prophecy, right behind Turner Funeral Home.
Okay, on Highway 58.
Yeah, Webb Road turns off, and you just pass the funeral home, pass two houses, and then my driveway's next.
So you were actually at home watching television, and you saw Nazareth, and he got you laughing, and one thing led to another. You felt a call to call him, and now here he comes.
I know it. Really, it's a miracle that he's coming to Chattanooga, to my church, because I didn't think a person of this celebrity status would ever come to our little church there. We have a community ministry, and we're trying to do things to benefit the community in that area. But when I heard him on TBN, actually, and heard the interview, I felt that still small voice, or that inspiration to call him. Well, I argued with the Lord because I said he lives in New York. He'd never come to Chattanooga, and besides, you know, he gets a whole lot more money than what we can fork out.
Right.
So finally, after fussing with the Lord a little bit, I give up, and I went down to my office. I looked up his booking agent, and lo and behold, Nazareth answered the telephone. I explained to him that I felt divinely inspired to call him, and was there a possibility for him to come to my church? He lives in New York, and it was silent for a little while, and I thought he's fixing to say, "You're crazy." But he said, "Well, Brother Lee, it just so happens that I'm going to be in Crossville on September the 29th at a benefit for an orphanage, for a home for girls, I guess." And so he said, "Could you have me on the 30th? And I said, "I'd be glad to, but now you'd be coming for a free will offering." And he said, "Well, how big is your church?" And thank God he phrased it that way, because our congregation is not big, but our church seats, we can put in about 250 people. And I expect it to be full. The doors will open at 5:30, and I suspect there'll be a line there at the doors before I open them. And because I've had my phone ringing off a hook.
Well, I'm sure that you will. He performs for our troops. He travels a lot.
All of the military bases around the world. And in fact, he's performed, I think his stats say, to about 40 million people have seen him live and on television.
So would you encourage, is this going to be a night for families to come?
Oh, absolutely. And it'll be a night of laughter. You know, Ecclesiastes says there is a time to laugh. And of course, the scripture also says the joy of the Lord is our strength. So laughter brings a release of stress. And he has been quite successful in bringing people to an experience with the Lord.
Well, he must have been excited to get your call.
Well, he seems like he's excited about everything. He's just excited about life. And a lot of his materials he pulls just from normal life.
Now, he himself was born in the Middle East, right?
He was born in Nazareth, and his mama named him Nazareth. He grew up in Kuwait, I believe. And then he married a girl from that area, his sister-in-law's cousin, and they warned her that he was a Christian, and to be careful what she said. And this girl he's now married to said, "Well, I'm a Christian too." So when he met her, he asked her to marry him. And then 2 years later, after exchanging and dating a little, they got married
And so now they live in New York.
in New York, and I think they got about 3 or 4 kids.
So you have a chance if you get there early, because you can't get a ticket, you can't make a reservation. All you can do is get there prepared to laugh, maybe have an early dinner, because the doors open at what time on Saturday?
5:30.
5:30.
Yeah. Performance starts at 6.
Okay.
And it'll probably last for an hour, hour and a half.
Okay. So his name is Nazareth Rizkallah, if you want to look him up and hear how funny he is.
I know it. That's
And then
R-I-Z.
Kallah.
That's
So
right.
then if you want to be there, it's on Webb Road. It's the Oakwood Church of God of Prophecy. And they would love to see you and let you be part of the fun on Saturday evening. Thank you so much.
That's great. Thank you for having me.
Most kitchens have spaces that are frustrating. I couldn't